Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Mike and this is Hidden Creek Homestead. Let's go get the chickens some dinner, guys. Go back in. This way. There you go. Nice. Those are the decoys, in case you guys are wondering. So today's video is going to take on a kind of a different feel from the stuff that we've been doing, the homesteading and the animals and the building and planning and preparing and all type of stuff. And I'm going to talk to you guys about some stuff that's been going on here that's kind of personal to us. Just because my wife and I have made a decision to include you guys on what's happening. I know 2020, we were all looking forward to get here to the new year, 2021. And while I can say that I am glad to be out of 2020, 2020 was the year that just wouldn't quit. And right about a day before Christmas Eve, it was December 23rd, I believe, we've been experiencing some symptoms here with my wife, and on the 23rd she was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. We really had no clue much prior to that she had anything wrong with her. It was right around Thanksgiving. My in-laws came down to visit from New York, and she had felt an oddity, I guess we'll call it, or some firmness in her right breast. I felt it. It didn't feel good to me, or like something that should be there. Didn't feel like inflammation or something. So we said, once your parents go home or whatever, let's get you to a doctor and get you checked out. Prior to Thanksgiving, we had no knowledge of anything. She felt fine, didn't feel anything in her breast at all. It was a total surprise to all of us. So even she went to her gynecologist, and the gynecologist examined her and said it didn't feel like anything suspicious, but go for a mammogram anyway. The mammogram revealed a large mass, 9.8 centimeters, and possibly an affected lymph node. So that was kind of startling. Next step was a biopsy. The biopsy came back positive. They biopsied a lymph node and the primary tumor itself, and both were cancerous. So, I know you haven't seen too many videos from us lately. It's been an emotional roller coaster, to say the least, the past couple of weeks around here. We had never planned to do a full-fledged YouTube channel and try and grow it how we're doing now, and really document as much as we're documenting. And it just kind of, thanks to Evan at Country View Acres and people that have found us organically, and it's kind of taken off a little bit, which I'm really thankful for, and so is she. But we figured, some people are like, hey, that's private, why are you putting it on YouTube? And to be honest with you, I kind of felt that way too. I struggled with it a little bit. I was like, should I say this to the viewers, or should I keep it under the hat, or what's the right thing to do? So I spoke to my wife about it, and fortunately and unfortunately, she had planned to address this on video here with me, just how I'm doing right now. Unfortunately, she's not. Fortunately, the reason she's not, and also unfortunately again, is because everyone in her medical team has been so proactive, and really got to jump on things, and we're on the ball. So she's already started her treatment 2 days ago. First day she was fine. At night she got a little bit ill. Day 2, which was yesterday, she was practically normal. I felt great. Today, not so much. So she's not going to be doing this video with me today. Well, she had said that she felt we should address you guys and let you know what's going on and bring you in on her story, because she feels that she doesn't want, YouTube to stop, which was my first reaction. I said, hey, well, I'll stop whatever I'm doing, and we'll just do you right now and get you healthy and take care of you. YouTube will have to wait. I just started working again recently. Those of you who don't know, I had a home inspection business back in New York. It was pretty successful, and I closed the business down and moved here. So I haven't worked in 6 months, and I just started opening up shop and getting some work going again. So that's a good thing. But I said, hey, I won't do that either. If you want, I'll shut that back down, and I'll shut YouTube down, and we'll just get you healthy. And she said, absolutely not. She said, we're going to do YouTube, and you're going to continue to work. And she said, and we feel this way, she may have cancer, but cancer doesn't have her. So that said, YouTube will continue, and the reason why we decided to address you guys is because she may not be on video as much as we were getting her ready to become on video, getting her comfortable with being on camera. And when she is on camera, if she's feeling okay, it's assumed that she might start to look different after a while. And rather than have you guys wonder, hey, what's going on? Does it look like she's losing her hair? Does she have a wig on? What's happening over there? And dealing with all types of comments and speculating, better to just bring you guys in on what's going on. I mean, that's what this is, right? This is a documentation of what we're doing here and our journey. And maybe people can learn from what's going on, what we're doing here. Maybe they can teach us some things. This is a video documentation of our new life. And this is our new life for the moment, for the foreseeable future. So that's our story. Out of the dark comes some blessings from above. I feel like we are truly blessed, no matter how you slice this. Her mom, who lives in New York, her and her husband, my father-in-law, have a really nice house up there, and they're really close to retirement age. Her mom decided to basically move in with us for the foreseeable future, or unforeseen amount of time, until her baby is better. So, now with me working a bit and managing the homestead and stuff around here, I cannot say how much of a help that's going to be, both mentally for my wife, and mentally for me, and physically for the help that we're going to get here, and with the kids and with the house and all that stuff. So I'm feel very blessed to have that. Other things we feel good about is we had the opportunity. I'm sorry about the lighting. I know it kind of keeps changing because I got this cool new tripod I'm playing with and a little remote control to turn it on and off. And every time I start it and turn it off, it filters the light out differently. So apologies for that. Anyway, another blessing is her whole medical team has just been great. Her oncologist is fantastic. I'm really happy with her oncologist. I mean, everyone from the nurses to the LPNs to everyone involved, even the people that do labs and draw blood, have just been so incredible, so helpful, so kind, so patient. She's getting all of her appointments are just set up in something called her My Chart, which is like an app on her phone. And it's just everything is just laid out there, and she gets notifications. And as soon as she has a test done, it just pops right up on her phone. I don't think I could have asked for better treatment, which is funny because being from New York, our first thought was, hey, maybe we should go to Sloan Kettering. That's where everyone goes. It's like the #2 cancer center in America. And then I think MD Anderson in Houston, Texas is #1. We actually called MD Anderson, and they went over her treatment plan that her oncologist put in place, and they said that she's receiving pretty much a national standard of care for her actual diagnosis. So they felt confident in the treatment that she was receiving, which was kind of reassuring to us. They also said that, that said, if we wanted to go there, we were welcome to. Sorry about that. If we wanted to go to Houston and receive care at MD Anderson, we were welcome to do that, but the soonest they'd be able to get her in was a little over a month post-diagnosis. And at stage 3, we didn't feel that that was something that we could play around with. Especially given that they were going to give her the same treatment plan that she's receiving here. So that all worked out really good. Her doctor, her oncologist, has actually worked at Sloan and I think Moffitt Cancer Center in Tampa, which is another really big one. So we have ultimate confidence in her oncologist. Having said all that, it reminds me of why we started doing this. Years ago, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, her and I had watched like a Netflix special about our food and where it comes from commercially, and how it's planted and how it's treated and how it's raised and how the animals are treated and what it's fed, and all the it's just a rabbit hole. Once you get into it and you start understanding how deep the rabbit hole goes and really how messed up our food system is, her and I decided, sitting there in our suburban New York home 4 or 5 years ago, I said, hey, we want to go move someplace out of here, get some land, start raising our own food, our own animals, growing our own produce, all of it, as much of it as we can. I don't want to eat this stuff anymore because it's just not good for anybody. No regrets having done this now, except that I wish we would have done this earlier. But that brings me to the next part of this YouTube channel here, and what I'm going to bring you guys along with and show you is that we had planned to get into our food production here slowly, because I believe that Rome wasn't built in a day, and when you do things like that, you've got to learn. You've got to research things and save your money and plan things accordingly to your property and to your budget and your family. And we'd start our garden this year and maybe get into some meat chickens towards the fall. Unfortunately, I'm going to get heavily into food production now. I don't think my wife's my best friend, and while I may not care as much anyway about myself as I care about her and my kids, I owe it to her and I owe it to them to get this going. Now, I may make some mistakes since I'm ill-prepared. I don't know. I got you guys to help me. I got a lot of people on YouTube channels I could ask. You guys all, offer me advice in the comments, and that'll help out a lot. But yeah, we're gonna get going full time on food production here. Something, we're going to shift some priorities around. I had planned to build a big shop. I know I had just seen Evan from Country View Acres. He had just did a video the other day where he's doing this really cool, big, elaborate pole barn that he had planned for a while. And that's something that I was planning to do here hopefully in the near future. I'm looking actually at the area right now where I wanted to do it. But I'm gonna unfortunately have to hold off on that because this is a priority for me right now. So I have a shed being delivered in 2 days, so I'll make a little video of that, and that's gonna help us out a lot. That's going to be able enable me to get most of the stuff out of that half a garage, which I'm going to turn into a big pantry, which we're going to need for food storage. It's going to enable me to get that tent out of there and relocate the feed. and the tent needs to get out of there, and we need to be looking to feed because that's where the garden's going to go. And I think I mentioned this in the last video, but we're here in what is today, January 21st. We're going to be putting stuff in the ground before you know it. I don't even have a rack with seeds growing in it. That's probably going to happen next month, but it's just everything needs to happen at warp speed over here. And unfortunately, I'm down to Buddy right now. She's an active helper. She's involved in everything. If we got to go on the roof, she's the first one off the ladder. She's tough, which I think will help her in this situation a lot. But unfortunately for me, it's a one-man operation here now, so I got a lot of work to do and not a lot of time to get it going. So back to the plans. Garden build has to start real soon because of the season. Speaking of blessings, more blessings, I was able to secure a processing date for pigs, which we do not have yet. Which I don't know if any of you guys have been into, if you watch other homesteading channels or if you know about meat processing or processing pigs. Ever since the pandemic came around, I think like everyone and the dog is starting to get into growing their own food, and which is a good thing. I'm not knocking it. I think that's a good thing, and I think that the country, the world needs to get back to that. I think if we all, could you imagine if everyone was growing their own food and making their own clothes, or I don't know, growing their own produce and their animals, how much less time they'd have to be bickering back and forth on Facebook and the internet and contributing to how hostile the environment is nowadays. No one would have any time for any of that, so I think it's a good thing that people are getting back into this. But that said, anyway, I'm rambling. You can't get a processing date for animals because everyone's doing it. Truly a blessing from above, I secured a processing date for September 29th for pigs. I think it might be a little bit too early because most pigs aren't available to be purchased until around, well, here anyway, until around April. So that kind of puts me at around the 5-month mark. And I know, pigs traditionally take about 180 days to make their processing weight, or their optimal processing weight anyway. So again, being lucky, I called the processing company. I found pigs at the place that we got our chickens from. I just reached out to him and I was like, hey, the guy's name is Todd. They're called Crooked Toe Farms. I'll try to put a link in the description. Really super nice people. They're one of the first people that we met when we moved down here. They sold us our chickens. We just spent a lot of time talking with him. What does he do for a living? He's a retired electrician turned home inspector. How coincidental is that? So I had a lot to talk to him about. He's been incredibly helpful. One of the type of people, and him and his wife, they just kind of like to guide you and help where they can. And I reached out to him and I said, hey, we're gonna start doing some pigs here pretty soon. You know anyone who's selling them? And he's like, I'm gonna be selling them come April. I said, great, tell me about them. He said, well, they're gonna be, what were they? Berkshire, not sure I'm pronouncing that right. And something spots, I forget. I've been talking about it all day now, I can't think of the name of the breed of pig. Anyway, it's a crossbreed. He's raising them on 3 acres of woods, feeding them the best feed possible, and he'll have piglets for us come April. So I gotta get a pig pen going. I called the processor. They were able to move my date back to October 27th. So that's the date, October 27th, to process our pigs. Somewhere, prior to that, I've got to get a pig pen built. I think I'm going to build it next to where the goats are. We'll get more into that later. I have some questions for you guys on that. The garden's got to happen, and then somewhere in between all that, meat chickens are going to come into the equation. So there's an awful lot going on here, and not a lot of time. Anyhow, that's what's happening on the Hidden Creek Homestead. I wish I had a more cheery video with goats dancing around and chickens making the funny noises that they do, and all smiles and laughing and joking here, but we are very positive about our situation. We're very positive about her condition. My wife is just super positive in general, period. The first couple of weeks for me, when I found out this news, I was just a complete basket case, falling apart at the seams. Took me, a week and a half, 2 weeks to make one silly little video because I turned the camera on and just sit there and stare at it, and I couldn't even speak. So I'm feeling better now. We got her treatment plan in place. Everything's moving along. I believe that she's going to be just fine. And I think she knows that she's going to be just fine. And I think that's the best cancer treatment that there is. So that's our story. Got plenty more content coming for you guys. So that'll be good. Please don't, she's not looking for a pity party. She doesn't want anyone, I'm so sorry, this and that. Smiles and positivity, that's all she asked for, that's all I asked for. Don't feel bad for us. This happens, it happens to a lot of people. Which brings me to something else I want to talk about before we end this video. Guys, I didn't know much about cancer other than losing a couple people to it prior to this diagnosis. And then, of course, in this month, you become like an expert after talking to all these doctors and reading and researching, and you start learning so much. Guys, as documented, 1 in 8 women get breast cancer. To me, that was a shocking statistic. That's what 12.7 or 12.5% or something like that of women are going to get breast cancer. It's a lot of women. So, and talk to your oncologist and her whole cancer team, they were saying that, no, it's, that's what's documented, but more realistically, it's more like 1 in 6. Oh, 1 in 6 women, guys, that's just awful. I hope that as that information gets known throughout the insurance world, that the mandatory or allowable age for women to start being screened can get bumped up drastically. I mean, if it was up to me and I made the calls, I think women, as soon as they mature physically, you have their reproductive organs, and they, right after puberty, I think once they reach adulthood, even just call it 18, I think regular mammograms should be authorized starting at 18. Because there's an alarming increase, especially in younger women. In the past, it used to be, an older women's thing that got breast cancer. Not anymore, guys. My wife is 38 years old. I'm sorry, 37 years old. Sorry, babe. I'll erase that. Delete it. Cancer don't make her mad, but that'll piss her off. Yeah, it's becoming way more prevalent in younger women, and that's scary because cancer in younger women is generally more aggressive. Not always, but the reason for that is because the breast tissue is more dense, and in older women it's not as dense, so it's able to grow faster in younger women because of the dense breast tissue. The cells can migrate much more quickly than they can in looser breast tissue. So, I'm not telling anyone how to live their life or what to do. If your insurance company doesn't mandate or allow your daughters to be screened or have mammograms at a young age, find a way to save some money, or get a paper route, or do something, or go into your savings, get checked, get screened. These are usually things that if you jump on it and you see a little something growing, they go in, they get a little bit of treatment, they cut it out, and you're done. It's just real easy, real simple thing, but when it becomes a little bit more advanced, it's a lot more complicated, and it's not a 1, 2, 3 thing. It's an ongoing process that it becomes more serious and more dangerous. So guys, please get your kids screened if you have young kids. If you're a young woman, get yourself screened. Don't feel embarrassed. There's no shame in it. This is it's important stuff, guys. Please, I beg you, don't wait. And, I'm giving you advice, and I'm kind of being a hypocrite because I don't really take care of myself and go to the doctor all the time and check myself out either. But she is the healthiest person I know. I mean, she's, Mrs. Kale and grilled chicken. We lived in New York before we started homesteading. She was in the gym every day on our lunch break. She'd work out at home be on the treadmill on the weekends. She's not a heavy drinker. She doesn't smoke. Nothing. She's just the healthiest person I know. And cancer doesn't care. Doesn't care. So, you know, I'm not trying to scare anyone or put fear in you or anything like that, or, you know, or be a fear monger. But, guys, it's a real serious thing. You know, please take care of yourselves. Please get screenings. If you have questions, feel free to ask. I don't mind, as long as it's not too personal. We'll answer them. And I will get back with you guys soon. Like I said, we got a shed coming in a couple of days. That's going to be the first step in accelerating things that need to get done around here, or facilitating the things that need to get done around here. Is basically just making room. So I'm excited about that. Excited to be working again. Excited to have family here that loves us and it's helping out. And I'm excited to be alive and healthy myself. At least I think I'm healthy for the moment. So cherish your time, guys. Cherish every day you have. Cherish your health. Treat it more seriously if you haven't been. Try to get out and grow some food, even if you put a little vegetable garden in your window. If you don't live in acreage or something like that, just, you know, you don't have to. Raise a couple of rabbits in your house or something. You know, start today. It makes all the difference in the world, okay? So I'll get with you guys soon. Thanks for listening to this kind of somber video. Don't feel somber. We're positive. You should be too. And I wish you guys health and prosperity and a very happy new year. And I'll see you guys in a couple days. Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you soon.